Murder, kidnapping, rape, robbery. Anyone can become a victim of a crime.
It didn't deserve to go out the way you went out.
You can break the cycle.
It's just got to quit.
You can help stop crime where you live.
Crime is everybody's problem.
Don't sit in silence.
We want peace in the streets.
Come together and help take back Baton Rouge.
Hi everybody, I'm Matt Williams. Thanks so much for being with us. Over the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk about a pretty tough subject, crime. We hear a lot about crime here in Baton Rouge, so let's talk about it. We all know crime can happen anywhere, and it does. No one's immune. You can be affected. But that's why Crime Stoppers exists. They help local law enforcement agencies in 8 different parishes as they try to stem the tide of crime. And you can help as well. You know, call in that tip. And tonight, you can help by calling in that monetary donation. We're going to get to that here shortly. But let's start in Baton Rouge, the very center of the Crime Stoppers' reach, and far too often the center of violent crime. Did you know through July of this year, Baton Rouge police have responded to 50 homicides, 14 more within the parish? What is going on? Here's Greg Merriweather.
Where you stand often determines what you see. Depending on where you stand on the streets of Baton Rouge, what you see can be a whole lot of things, and perhaps a difference between life and death now more than ever.
You know, people look back and want to say Katrina, Katrina, Katrina. We got our own homegrown thugs. You know, they've been here. What I see has happened, though, the influence of those New Orleans thugs that moved in, they had a whole different mindset. And I think they educated our locals, and they've risen up to that level, which has really caused us a lot of problems.
Sheriff Sid Gautreaux is the chief law enforcement officer of the parish, and while the problems may be parish-wide, they have deep roots embedded within the city, and that problem falls to the Baton Rouge police.
The community has to believe in us that when they give us that information, that we'll act upon it and follow through with it.
The chief says there's often a disconnect between his officers and the people they are trying to save while serving.
The disconnect was so far that it's going to take time to bridge that gap. But we're doing that.
If crime is indeed the wound that won't heal in Baton Rouge, then race and socioeconomic disadvantages are perhaps the infection surrounding it.
And you know yourself, the average perpetrator of a homicide is 17 to 25, 26 years old, black male. The average victim is the same.
In the fight to take back Baton Rouge, there is a secret weapon, and chances are you know it quite well. You, me, the community, we, and what we know can be the secret weapon.
Just give us the information, and we'll act on it. If we don't act on it, then call this office, and I promise you it'll be acted upon.
Problem of crime is everybody's problem. It's just not because it's over here and it's not really happening right here. It's everywhere, and the potential for that to happen is everywhere. And I think it's unfortunate, but you know, when we have something happen like a homicide or shooting in one of those areas, which is not a high crime area, it's a more affluent area, predominantly jump up and down, and rightfully so, and say, you know, good God, what's going on? You know what? But you know, I tell them you cannot sit back and say this is happening over here, and because it's happening over here, you know, I'm okay, or I don't have a part in playing to try to make a difference.
Yes, you can make a difference. That's why Crime Stoppers is asking for your donation. Any amount can help them help law enforcement. It's very simple. Just log on to crimestoppersbr.com or simply dial that number you know so well, 344-STOP. That's 344-7867. It's a number you see a lot here on WAFB, and it truly works.
Crime Stoppers. What's your code number? I think police have made an arrest in your case.
That is somebody well on their way to getting paid, helping make their community a bit safer, and staying anonymous the whole time. There are those out there, though, who still don't believe this is an anonymous program, believe there are ways they can be ID'd. So let me take you through the process. It all starts right here in this room, more often than not with a phone call.
We give you your code number. It's gonna
A call comes in with a tip about a crime. No ID on the phone, no one knows where the call is coming from, and a code number is given out. A number specific to you. That's the only way they know you. You're a number. That's it.
For the last 30 years, no one's ever had to go to court. No one's ever been identified because we don't know who those people are.
And it's not just when you call in that you're anonymous. You stay anonymous all the way through the getting paid process. Here's how it works. The folks with Crime Stoppers head to the bank, you'll find out which one when you call, and divide up all the money. All you do is go through the drive-thru, far away from the window, send over your code number on a piece of paper, and voila.
It's on its way. Thank you. You have a good day.
The teller sends an envelope back to you with your money in it, and you stay anonymous the whole time. It's a program that's working, and it's picking up steam.
In the last 5, 6, 7 years, the calls have doubled, if not tripled.
But it's not just phone calls. You can send in email tips anonymously right through their website. It's a resource that is greatly needed these days because the program has grown so much from serving just Baton Rouge when it began back in 1982.
We work with 8 parishes within the Baton Rouge area. That's 8 different sheriff's offices and all the PDs within those parishes.
That's a lot of potential cases, and more than 11,300 of them, felonies, have been solved since 1982, thanks to Crime Stoppers. It's a program built around anonymity, built around the community, but it takes the community to make it work.
Thank you.
The Crime Stoppers program has proved successful for years. Everybody knows the number 344-STOP. They've been hitting the website, but there's a new tool in the arsenal. This right here. Everybody's got a smartphone. Texting is the new weapon in the arsenal. Sid Newman, Executive Director. Is this really anonymous?
This thing is 100% anonymous, Matt. All you have to do is spell out crimes and then put in CS225 plus your message, hit the send button. It goes into our call center. No one ever knows who sent us that information. You'll automatically assign a code number. Completely anonymous.
This is the future.
This is it. So where we're going.
Still convinced this program does not work? Still convinced you don't want to be a part of it? 344-STOP right now. Pledge that donation.
Or text us a tip.
Or text us a tip. Look, every single dollar you pledge to this program goes right back into the community. 8 different parishes, Crime Stoppers affects. That's you. It's everywhere. They are everywhere. We are everywhere. So please, make that call, make that donation, and help us take back Baton Rouge.
I would say that it definitely works. And people don't think much about it, but I think when it hits you in your home or in your family, you'll think more about Crime Stoppers anyway, and I know we always will.
A possible tragedy averted thanks to a student at Westdale Middle School. A 14-year-old was found with a gun in his backpack. He was taken into custody before he could use it, all because another student sent an anonymous text message to Crime Stoppers.
What a testament to the reach Crime Stoppers has. A young person texting in a message to stop a crime and save his classmates. Of course, then there's the crimes no one wants to talk about, the ones that baffle the police and frustrate the families, the cold cases. Here's Kieran Chawla with one family's search for closure nearly 40 years later.
It's a pain that still brings tears for Regina and her siblings. Memories of their sister, Linda E2 Nippers.
Nothing's ever the same. And anybody that's ever went through this will know your life is never the same.
November will mark 39 years since this family has been looking for an answer. What happened to Linda? The 25-year-old, described as a sweet, bashful woman, went grocery shopping after work one day. That was the last time she was seen alive.
Detectives say Linda went missing back in November of 1973. Her body was found days later floating in a ditch in the 1500 block of Louise Street. The cause of death? Strangulation. And even though police did arrest and convict someone for the crime, the case remains open till this very day.
We believe 40 years later that perhaps the investigators had it wrong for whatever reason at that time, that perhaps they had the wrong individual that they had arrested. Thus, the conviction was vacated 3 times.
Detective John Dothier is over Baton Rouge's cold case division.
This case is 19 years old.
Since the department launched the division in March, Dothier has filled boxes and cabinets with at least 330 different files of unsolved crimes, the oldest dating back to 1970.
Cases become cold simply when the investigative efforts have run out. Witnesses have either stopped cooperating or been non-existent or unable to provide information. The physical evidence has been examined to the point of no return.
The department's biggest ally now is the crime lab. In Linda's case, DNA evidence recently sent detectives to North Carolina to question a possible suspect.
Every holiday, there's something missing.
Virginia is thankful for the newly formed cold case division, with hope that someday she and hundreds of other families will finally get some closure.
Hey, money can be just what it takes to stop a case from going cold. The right payout brings the right tip to solve a case. That's exactly how it works. You can help. Call 344-STOP or log on to crimestoppersbr.com to make your tax-deductible donation right now.
When you're in the dark like that, you really rely on a program like Crime Stoppers, or the community to come out and say, hey, look, we got a little bit of this clue or tip or whatnot. So you don't know how the impact of such a small tip can provide. I mean, it could be the game changer for a case.
Shots ring out outside the Mall of Louisiana during a fight between two groups. Two innocent bystanders are hit. They would live, and a Crime Stoppers tip would put the alleged shooter, Johnny Williams, behind bars.
When a suspect is picked up for committing a crime, they're brought here. Parish prison, clearly not the best of places to be, but it can get worse because if that person is convicted, well, they get moved on up the line. Some of them do, to the state pen, Angola. Tyana Williams takes us inside.
Purely stupid and ignorant. There is a repercussion for what you do, and we're it.
It was once known as the bloodiest prison around.
This is not a place for a human being. This is not, you're not here for being good.
Behind the barbed wire at Angola are more than 5,000 inmates living life with no privacy.
It's crazy. Why do you want to come live with me? Why do you not? You're not going to have any women to love on.
Walking cell blocks has become a part of life for Daryl Waters.
When I look at you, I see myself. And I don't want you in here with a life sentence, man. Get it together.
One of these guys will eventually return to the free world, but it's not the man dressed in street clothes.
I was a college student. I was a scholar athlete in high school. I ran track, and I just loved books. I was always inside studying. I won a scholarship to Louisiana Tech. I was a computer engineering major.
44-year-old Waters has not been outside Angola's walls since 1993. Now a mentor for other inmates, he's 19 years into a life sentence for second-degree murder, a charge he picked up because someone was giving his brother trouble.
This is my humble home. This is where I live at. This is Mag 2. This is where I live at.
There's no home sweet home sign, but it's home for dozens of men who sleep in close quarters. Gillum has also been down 19 years for second-degree murder.
I didn't sleep the first night. I didn't sleep the first night because the only thing I thought about was, where I go wrong.
Comfort is not the word that comes to mind. A thin mattress wrapped in a sheet on top of a metal frame. Fans blowing around hot air. There's no air conditioning here. His belongings locked away in two small gray boxes that serve as his closet.
I'll tell you when to go to bed, 10:30 at night. I'll tell you when you're going to get up, what you're going to eat. You're not going to have any choices. You'll crave a Big Mac.
To those who think they could handle prison, these inmates say it's the mental game that'll make you suffer.
Watching your family just grow and live life without you, that is the harshest reality. And that's something that they don't put on TV. They don't tell you that. They don't tell you that, you know what, your mother may get sick and you get a serious illness message. And the only thing that you can do is possibly make a phone call to find out how she's doing.
A collect call that may or may not get answered.
Even with the phone calls, you can call someone and it's up to them to press 5 or press 0. Even with a visit, you can't make anyone come up here.
Ron Hicks says those he once called friends are no longer.
None of the guys that I was out there with send me letters or send me financial
aid while I'm here. You know, it's my family.
His friends now
My cousin sleeping right there.
are within walking distance. Older inmates now in the prison's hospital ward.
While I'm here, I want to pray with you. Father, we just bless you and thank you for...
It's the life these men live because of their actions, until death, and even then, some won't escape prison grounds.
Those men are paying the price for the decisions they made many years ago, but you can make the decision to be on the right side, the Crime Stoppers side. Imagine if everybody out there right now called in and made a pledge of simply $5. The difference that could make. 344-STOP is the number to call, crimestoppersbr.com, the website as well. Please help us take back Baton Rouge.
I don't think anyone would have come forward and said anything about the case without Crime Stoppers. It's working.
Again, the number to dial, Crime Stoppers, a big phone drive this evening just for you, 344-STOP, 344-7867. Executive Director Sid Newman. We've taken in some good calls, but we got a great donation right here from State Farm and Carl Morrow. Good to see you this afternoon, sir.
Well, thank you, Sid. We'd like to present to Crime Stoppers from the local agents in the Baton Rouge area and our sponsors of the State Farm Collegiate Players Tour a check for $25,000.
That's going to go a long way.
That's fantastic.
That's fantastic, and it's just the beginning. Help us take back Baton Rouge, please. Keep calling this number. It's up to you. Thanks, guys.
Support your local law enforcement. Help us to solve crimes to help you have the quality of life that you have.
And I encourage and urge everybody to help us keep this community safe.
Support Crime Stoppers, because those dollars will go to keeping Crime Stoppers on the air, active, and being able to assist you.
We need everybody's support, financial support in this to help us.
It could help your family out. So make the donation.
Crime Stoppers is only as successful as your involvement. We ask that you pick up the phone, make that call, make that pledge to make your city a safer place for everyone.
Take Back Baton Rouge was sponsored by All Star Automotive Group and Certified Alarm Systems.